All right, welcome to part 3 of Record Store Day 2025. Halfway through and starting the second half. So, had a chance to recoup after record day. I actually took yesterday off from doing some videos just because had some good friends up of ours to visit. We got to go out to brunch, hang out. Did absolutely zero listening to music yesterday. Would you believe it? So went to our local favorite eating establishment right here in town. Got to have an awesome brunch, so I feel rejuvenated. Had a decent night's sleep, although I was up at 3:45 this morning. Why? I have no idea. That's why there's coffee in the mug this morning. So far we've looked through a whole bunch of stuff from Record Store Day 2025, but there's still a whole lot more to go. All right, actually a little more than halfway more to go in the collection of stuff that I managed to gather over Record Store Day and subsequently Record Store Day weekend, as it turns out, because somehow, if you know me, it never really ends on Record Store Day. Then the emails start coming and you get the notifications that, hey, our Record Store Day stuff is, it's done for the day, but, you can pick through what's left. And I managed to pick through what's left. I have hoarding tendencies, I think. Only when it comes to music. So, I'm going to take a swig of my coffee here, and then we're going to get into this. All right. This whole next set of stuff I'm showing to you, just by happenstance, happens to be live. If you take up at the listening wall behind me, you always get a clue as to what it's about. And there's one deception up there, and you'll figure it out pretty quickly. So I was lucky enough to see this band live when they were first starting up. Saw them as part of Lollapalooza, and they were one of the opening acts for Lollapalooza. This was back in '93, so really their first big tour, and it was something I really, not that I wasn't aware of growing up, but just it never spoke to me. And that's protest music. You had stuff, always had Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and all the folkies that did a lot of speaking out and speaking up for the disenfranchised. You even had stuff like Marvin Gaye, who questioned stuff, with his album "What's Going On." All right, and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and Neil Young's Ohio, right? But there was never a band quite like this, and the hype stick you hear from Record Store Day kind of gives you an idea of where it's going. Unreleased, unmixed, live, raw, aggressive performances by RATM's First World Tour. 3 sides of music and an etching. And talking about no else than Radom. Rage Against the Machine. All right, this is not their first Record Store Day release. This is from the first tour. And this is just stellar. I mean, you can't beat it. Okay. If you've ever seen anything about Rage Against the Machine, they've talked repeatedly about all the problems this flag caused them. It caused them to have a huge blowout on Saturday Night Live. And if you watch the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, they talk about in detail with that, because they were actually on the show with then presidential candidate Steve Forbes. And things got ugly. So here's the gatefold on it. And you get the track listing in there as well. Let's take a look at it. It's basic black vinyl. Nothing to see as far as the color of the vinyl goes. It's basic black. But, on side 4, all right, or it's side D, however you want to put it, they have an etching. And the etching is a close-up of the flag, all right, which they used to hang over their wall of amps upside down to indicate that we are in distress. And we'll show you that etching right now. I want to make sure I get it right side up for you folks. So there you go. It's hard to see with the glare, I know. It's a pain in the ass. You see the reflection of everything in the room. But you got the anarchy symbol, and you see where it says failed, failed, failed. And then it says, you've been tricked, spelled U''VE. So you have that. And what a great track listing this is. It starts off with Bomb Track, I believe. We'll take a look in a second. I'm almost positive it's Bomb Track. And I'm correct. Got Killing in the Name of, Take the Power Back, Settle for Nothing, Bullet in the Head, Know Your Enemy, Wake Up, Fistful of Steel, Township Rebellion, and Freedom. All right, fantastic live set from Rage Against the Machine. I was really thrilled when I saw this was going up for sale for Record Store Day 2025, and I made sure that I grabbed myself a copy. Next up, another live one, right? And if you'll remember from Record Store Day, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll probably remember me bitching and moaning about not being able to get a hold of this band's live collection, which I ended up almost having to, give a kidney for to get. I got screwed on Discogs, not once, not twice, but thrice. 3 times I had bogus sellers on Discogs trying to sell me a record which they didn't have, and they weren't even real sellers, it turns out. But thank God for credit card companies and their policies where, hey, don't pay. So didn't work out for the thieves. This time I didn't have to worry about it. Talking about Soul Asylum. All right. This one's called Live After the Flood, Live from the Grand Forks Prom, June 28th, 1997. It's the first time this has been on vinyl. As the sticker says there, spontaneous and fun time, featuring tons of classics and covers. I got to see them on this tour, obviously not on this date because I wasn't at the prom in 97. That's 11 years past my high school prom. But they really, I'll actually read you from the back. It says, what do I remember most about prom night 1997? Spent it in an airplane hangar in Grand Forks, North Dakota. The breathtaking stench of the town, newspaper boxes screaming headlines like hell and high water, and all these kids who'd spent the springtime sandbagging against the rising Red River and or losing their homes, clad in formal wear and erupting under the disco ball, when Dave Pirner sang the first words of Soul Asylum's set, "School's out for summer, school's out forever." The spirit of the people was palpable, and their gratitude towards the band, which was the height of their commercial popularity, was embodied by town spokesman Ed O'Keefe, who said, as Winston Churchill said, after World War II, never have so many done so much for so few. At the time, I remember thinking it was no exaggeration to compare war efforts to a rock band playing a prom, and the music you hold in your hands, me, it now bears more than that out. And what a great set of, classic Soul Asylum songs and some great covers. Like I said earlier, School's Out, Alice Cooper, you got Misery. What a great, that would have been a great one to open up with as well. Black Gold, probably their biggest track of all. See You Later, Without a Trace, love that song. Losing It, and one of my all-time favorite songs from Soul Asylum as well, Somebody to Shove. Absolutely love that one. Just Like Anyone, Tracks of My Tears, Runaway Train. All right, that's, that and Black Gold. Runaway Train's bigger, right? Runaway Train's definitely the bigger of the two. We Three, I Know, their version of Sexual Healing, which is really cool. The Game, I Can See Clearly Now, The Rain Has Gone. Black Star, and then 2 more covers of with To Sir With Love and their version of Rhinestone Cowboy. And as far as the interior of the record goes, get some nice pictures and some information about the show. The records themselves are basic black, nothing to see there. And another photo and more photos and info on, you got your liner notes there, so all set. So that is Soul Asylum, which for me this Record Store Day was a pain-free endeavor grabbing this album. Next up, one of the first live shows I ever saw was, in fact, Sting of the Police. I didn't get to see the Police in their heyday. I got a chance to see them when they came back in 2009, and I went 3 times, and each night was spectacular. I got to see Sting on his first solo tour. I was such a Police fan growing up, and I just never got to see them. I was too young to go to shows by myself. parents were older. They didn't really care about going to a rock concert, so it never happened. But I got to see Sting at Radio City Hall. Orchestra seats down in the center stage, I think they were like $27. Absolutely insane. Couldn't afford to see Sting in those seats today. But he did put out a new double live album, okay? And it's a 2-disc, 180-gram set. Includes never before released live tracks, all right? And he has a good backup band with him. It's just a 3-piece. His, his writing partner in crime and his guitarist, Dominic Miller, and Chris Moss on drums. And Dominic Miller, obviously, guitar and background vocals. The gatefold gives you all the information. You got your liner notes there. And very basic. Both albums look the same. And once again, basic black. But what a set list on this bad boy. All right, this is really a great set list to hear these musicians take on classic Sting tunes like Message in a Bottle, Englishman in New York, which is a fantastic song, Fields of Gold. I mean, this really plays like a greatest hits package. 7 Days, All This Time, Driven to Tears, fantastic song. Synchronicity 2, Every Breath You Take, Roxanne, and Be Still My Beating Heart as a mix. I Write Your Name, Upon My Heart, which was the single that was released from this album. It's Probably Me, Never Coming Home, Tea in the Sahara, classic Synchronicity track. Fortress Around Your Heart, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Shape of My Heart, and Can't Stand Losing You. So double album live set from Sting. Covers embossed and a little bit shiny. So you have that. Really cool. When I saw that pop up, that was going to be that. I was like, new stuff from Sting. Cannot wait. Psych. All right. More live. Let's get more live. It's got some purple stuff up there. Well, they've basically been rolling out the box set for that for purple, as breaking it up. It seems over Record Store Days, and I think the actual album, the anniversary album was probably for not Record Store Day, but I think it was for Ring Your New Year In Right or New Year In Right. Maybe right, maybe wrong. I don't know. But STP, the Stone Temple Pilots, live from New Haven, Connecticut. Not too far from me. And got the back. Has the track listing on there, but I think with the shrink wrap, it's probably hard to tell. And the interior is purple. So you got that. All right, and it's the first time on 2 LPs, and they are a very pale purple. Very different than the Motorhead one that I showed in the previous video, which was a deep purple, but not deep purple, obviously. 2 slabs of vinyl, very cool. Full set, gotta love it. And we have here, kicks off with Vaseline, Silver Gun Superman, Cracker Man, Loungefly, Meat Plow, Still Remains, Gypsy Davy, Pretty Penny, and Creep to close out side 2. Andy Warhol, Army Ants, Big Empty, that's probably my favorite STP track. Interstate Love Song, Plush, Unglued, Dead and Bloated, and going back to Sexy Type Thing from the first LP as well. So great live set, very energetic set from STP. RSD, gotta love RSD, so much good stuff. And this year there was just so much freaking live stuff. It was like mind-blowing amount of live stuff that was out there. So STP, all right. And I didn't even tell you the name. Yeah, live in New Haven, 1994. All right, so you have that. God, 1994, it seems like yesterday, but it certainly is. Let's go way back. And this is a band that I've yet to see live. I've loved them probably since high school, which is a very, very long time ago for me. This album came out when I was 10. All right. Talking Heads. New York band, Talking Heads, live on tour in 78. The complete performance recorded on 12/18/78 at Cleveland's Agora during the More Songs About Buildings and Food tour. And this is an RSD exclusive as well. And, this is, basic black. As I've talked before, sometimes it doesn't always have to be about the colored vinyl and the etchings and all the goodies they throw into a box set. sometimes the music is enough. And at this point in time, my God, were the Talking Heads absolutely killer. All right, so on that night, fateful night in Cleveland, back in December, a week before Christmas, what did we get? We got The Big Country, Warning Sign, The Good Thing, Artists Only, The Girls Want to Be with the Girls, Electricity, Drugs, New Feeling, Found a Job, Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, Psycho Killer, and Take Me to the River. So you double LP set of the Heads, live and in concert, definitely close to their peak, as far as live performances goes, and that's that. So, the art of deception, right? What are we talking about? Did anybody notice what's here and what's not here? So, what's here is obviously everything related to this, with one exception. There's no Rage Against the Machine up there. Okay. Believe it or not, I've yet to get around to buying the Rage catalog on vinyl. That's going to be rectified. Believe me. But, we all take our time buying stuff when we buy it. And now that I got this, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole there. And I'm going to do an episode on the rabbit hole. Believe me, there are many for me. But I do have all of Rage Against the Machine stuff on CD because when they came out, that was the popular format. I was out in the world DJing on a regular basis, so that's where I got them. And you will notice one addition, Todd Rundgren. Well, why is Todd there? Well, that's a Record Store Day release of A Wizard or True Star from a couple of years back. And why wasn't Todd there? Well, Todd's not there because Todd's not here. And Todd had releases for Record Store Day. Remember at the beginning of the video, I mentioned about how you get the emails and you get the texts and you get the come and pick through our leftovers. And I didn't grab the Todd Rundgren the morning of. Well, I got the Todd. I just got to go pick it up. So, one of the albums that's going to be, or you might think one of the albums that's going to be in the final video for this Record Store Day 2025. So you're going to have to come back. There's a lot more to come. I think there's 6 or 7 albums left. It's a lot of stuff. So next video, hopefully, if not by the end of the day today, tomorrow, parse it out, make sure everyone gets a chance to watch these and enjoy them the way I've enjoyed sharing this stuff with you. And I'm almost positive that there were other releases that came out this week that weren't related to Record Store Day. So that probably means by the end of the week, there'll be yet another video. You guys are going to get sick of seeing me. So thank you so much for checking out the channel. If you're new here, please do me the favor and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Drop a comment. I'll get back to you. I'm usually pretty quick, if not within a day. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Share it across other platforms. If you think you have someone in your life that might dig checking this out, by all means, share it with them. Until next time, which won't be too long from now, as I always say, peace, one love, music. I'm out. Take care, everyone.